All right, y'all. We're going to be doing some live yoga pranayam. Going to be doing the bandha, where we close off our chakra points, hold the blood, hold the energy, and then release it, and do a full-blown inhale, as much air as you can, and then hold that for as long as you can. And we're going to do this for multiple rounds. And then we'll go into our little Shiva Kundalini yoga, which is going to be even more fun, which involves your nasal passages. You're going to be using each side of the body for this one, and you will see. So let's start. Don't have a lot of space in this car, so forgive me if you don't see my spine moving a certain way like how it does when I'm not in the car. But either way, here we go. And follow along. Do this with me, Do it exactly the way I just said. Exhale all your air, hold that bandha, where you bring your ribs up and in, squeeze your pelvic floor tight, and keep your chin tucked right here, right under your collarbone. So what this does is you wouldn't really exhale like slow unless you hold it for like a certain amount of time, a set amount of seconds. But if you're going to hold your breath for as long as you can, then you're just going to exhale all that air once you can't hold it any longer, especially if you take the biggest breath you can take, like I just did. But I'm not going to go any deeper than that with more reps and sets, because I just wanted to get that main point across of like what I do normally. And then now we're going to go straight into the Shiva Kundalini. So right here, turn your head about like 30 degrees. Hold. Seven to 12 seconds, and then exhale on the left side, slow. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. And you do this for reps and sets. Do both of these things. Start off slow if you're a beginner. Don't push yourself hard when you first start. It's not for the faint of heart, especially once you get deeper into your meditation. You start doing it for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours at a time. For me, it generally only lasts about, it can last all day while I'm doing things. I'll consistently do my breathing as I'm doing work, as I'm relaxing as well. So you can make it a physical daily living activity, just your breath. You don't even have to sit down and make it a thing where, it has to get done. If you make it a lifestyle, then it's going to be a lot easier on you. So that's just my advice with that. And eventually, What this does is it'll allow your sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system to work together in a more functional way, especially the left and right hemispheres of your brain connecting, the flow of prana and chi, prana or chi through the nadis, through each center in the body, getting more blood into the extremities, very important for healing, for recovery, and more importantly, your union with all of life around you, and your health. Health is wealth. The more health you have, the more potentiality for your life to be an amazing experience. And then any other wisdom I can give to you right now would probably have to be, there is no end goal. Enlightenment is not even an end goal, because life goes on after that. And when you die, it has nothing to do with you becoming non-existent. It's more just a return of energy to the source. And the source, the true one consciousness behind every piece of life on this earth, from the ants on the ground to the human being, from the clouds in the sky to the grass on the ground, from the moon to the sun, from no oxygen to oxygen, etc. You know, like it's around you, within you, contains you, you contain it. You're a container living in a container, and there's containers inside your body, and it's an infinite number of containments within containments of energy, of layers, of patterns on a deeper level. What Shiva is, and what the destruction of the ego and the identity and the self is it's a means of breaking the bondage that holds you in chains, whether it be your emotions, your thoughts, mind or body. It's the one thing that plagues, it's the biggest illness since human beings started evolving and getting bigger brains. We have all this capacity and intelligence and knowledge to hold all this within our brains, yet the one thing that's more of a problem than anything is the brain itself. We haven't learned how to use it properly. It's about enhancing yourself through yoga, through eating properly, through breathing properly. It's about making your life the way you want. It's about changing perspective. You go from finite, singular perspective to multiplicity, infinite perspectives. You go from the ego to the super or non-ego self, which is the ability to perceive everything and anything going on at any one moment, because you've taken the necessary steps on your journey. It could take years, it could take lifetimes, it could take a single moment to understand all these concepts that I'm bearing down on you right now. Don't get confused with too much. Don't confuse yourself. Take in the more broader viewpoints I'm throwing at you here, which would be enjoy your life, forgive yourself, forgive everyone else, because in forgiving everyone else, you actually end up forgiving yourself in the process, because you break the chains that are holding you in bondage. All samsara and sin and all this other stuff that they want to call it is basically just suffering. It's bondage to the self. But if you go beyond the self, you go beyond suffering. And like I said, enlightenment is not the end goal. It's just a step. It's a stepping stone. So take that as you will. I hope you guys get into yoga. It's the most important thing you can ever do in your entire life. Like, subscribe, comment.